Help support our coverage with a free account on Privacy, the service that keeps you protected when shopping online. Get $5 to try it now by using promo code QZZ2J. And with Blueberry, the community that gives creators the power to make money, get detailed audience measurements, and host their audio and video. Get a 30-day free trial by using promo code Blueberry004.
So, Cambridge Consultants, Jackie Finn.
Hello.
How are you?
Yes, very well.
I love your accent.
Thank you.
So, where are you from?
So, London-ish.
Okay, London-ish.
Yes, London-ish. Yeah.
You fly out of London is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but live in Cambridge now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Great.
Absolutely.
Great.
Hence, Cambridge Consultants.
Yes, I guess that would make sense,
yeah, it would,
right?
wouldn't it?
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Well, welcome to our show.
Thank
welcome
you.
to CES.
Can you actually
Thank
do me
you.
a favor and
Yes.
move your mic a little bit up higher?
How about that? Is that better?
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
is that better?
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. So, yeah, so you're here at CES. Is this your first show as well?
No,
Okay.
this is, I think it's the company's about 12 or 13th show, and it's my third.
Okay.
So I was giving a closing keynote yesterday at the Digital Health Summit.
And do not take this the wrong way.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
But you're dressing like you're a seasoned professional at CES. Don't you love first-timers here with heels this high?
Oh my
or
goodness.
dress shoes for men, and they can't even walk at the end of the day,
Do you
right?
know, it's so funny. The first year I came here, I really hated it. I'd A, never been to Vegas, B, never done CES. And so, you know, I didn't work out that you have to kind of box clever and get all of your food at 5 a.m.
Yes.
Put it in a bag
Yeah.
so that you don't need to queue all day and that you have to have really low shoot, blah, 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 blah. You know, I didn't know how to do it. And I think it's a bit like that first time when everyone gets pregnant. Nobody tells you and they have this smug look and they go, yeah, let's just watch her suffer. Right? Yeah, we won't tell her how it really goes.
I've been
right?
watching the march
Yeah.
from the hotel. You know, yesterday everybody's all dressed up, and I come in my jeans and tennis shoes and whatever, right? And I'm sure they're all looking at me going, whatever, who are you, right? Yeah, I've noticed that the dress is starting to get a little more casual, and it's fun to watch. Yeah.
So it's so I like to think I've kind of nailed it this year. I was kind of quite smug this morning, walking and going, okay.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show, or to the show floor at least.
It's good fun. I'm enjoying it now.
Good.
Now that I've got into the kind of cadence of CES.
Yes, for sure.
It's good fun.
So tell us about your company.
Right, so CC, as I'll call them, because
Okay.
it's a bit of a mouthful if not. We've been going about 65 years now, and we started off as a tech consultancy out of Cambridge, but now we do product development for companies. So what can I tell you that isn't IP protected? The world's first wireless pacemaker, the Bluetooth stack in your phone that is now Qualcomm. We sold off that. The air traffic control that helps us fly in and out of here. That's our kind of IP for the radio.
Awesome.
The satellite communication that Iridium do. We do the push-to-talk phone with them. We've been their development partner. We're one of those companies that nobody's ever heard of, but actually we're in a lot of areas.
Okay.
Yeah,
because
you have your hands in a lot of pots.
yeah,
and you're,
but because
you're
our
working behind the
clients insist on confidentiality and it's their IP,
Sure.
because
Right.
that's what they're paying for, we can never tell anyone what we do. So, so we're like kind of like the Intel of product development, if you like.
So,
secret
but
sauce.
you're here to give us an amazing announcement today on something you're working on,
Well,
right?
so, well, yeah, it was actually.
Oh,
I have to say,
that's great.
well, amazing, maybe overblowing it, but there's a real shift from wearables, gathering all of our information, through to contactless monitoring of people, because I think my colleague told me that there were 649 different wearables companies here. So there's only so many wearables a person can wear, right?
649.
I can't. I don't have room for 649 T-shirts on my.
And this is the thing,
drawer.
right? Because then you're not going to have compliance, because you've got to put a thing on, you've got to remember to charge it, you've got to remember to, I don't know, either dock it or connect it to something.
Right.
And so eventually, the more things we need to monitor to understand a human, you have to move away from hardware form factors. So contactless is the way to go. And so what I did yesterday was talk about the hospital of the future. And we did a 3-month project in-house where we managed to get heart rate, temperature, respiration and consciousness through cameras. So you just sit there and it will tell you in real time all of your vital signs.
Wow.
And that's kind of going along the way that in a hospital you have those 4 parameters plus blood pressure and oxygen saturation, and they tell you how a person is deteriorating or not in a hospital. So if you can do that in a contactless way, imagine somebody sitting in a bed and there's a rig above them, an optics rig, and it's continuously monitoring them. You can save the nurses from constantly hooking you up to machines and making sure that everything is connected and that there's no cybersecurity attacks and wires aren't being pulled out, yada, yada, yada.
And you're making progress in this right now?
So we did a 3-month project and did this in 3 months, nailed it. Now, these were the 4 out of 6 easy parameters that we nailed. But actually, when I say we nailed it, we got some clever people doing it, and originally we saw a TED talk of somebody, I think it was MIT, who spent their PhD getting that heart rate. So we managed to kind of replicate what everybody had done in quite a few years in a few months. So now we're going to move on to blood pressure. That's the holy grail. Tried to contactless blood pressure. I saw like a wrist band here, again another wearable, and that's great. That's a move forward from cuffs, etc. But actually, what two holy grails, right? Blood pressure and glucose. You can tell somebody's glucose.
That would be amazing. Yes.
So we're just going to poodle around and do that sort of thing this year for fun, because that's what we do with our engineers.
Now, I noticed when you mentioned glucose that you were kind of going like this. Is that you're thinking it's a breath type of measurement?
Well, yeah, we don't know. So many people have tried, haven't they? So I think who did the Alcon and somebody, Verily or somebody did the the contact lens to try to see if they could get glucose out of tears, and it just wasn't concentrated enough. So there's lots of ways to try, but nobody's cracked it yet. That's the absolute holy grail. But you can imagine then for diabetes,
it would be amazing.
Being able to monitor people pre-diabetic. Would be the way to go. So anyway, contactless monitoring, and we've had an awful lot of people on our stand saying this is what I want to do, either through radar or optics. So that's the trend, and yesterday I wanted to give people food for thought and inspiration to say, look, we did this in 2 or 3 months, 4 out of the 6 really important vital signs. So imagine what we could do in a few
more months. A little bit more time,
yeah. So that's really what I was doing, trying to inspire people to say this is the way to go in the future, because we just can't keep putting wearables on ourselves. There's only so many wrists and
right. I mean, there's a place I think for wearables. I mean,
totally.
I cannot tell you, and I'm not making light of this anymore, but I actually bought my first watch at a pawn shop. Only because I'd never wore a watch before. I mean, a modern
My husband never wears a watch, ever.
And I thought, this is a joke, but this guy's like, just try it. It's like $30. It was a Gear 2, right? And I had that watch for 2 years. And I would actually leave my phone at home, but I could not leave my watch at home. You know, I love this technology and how far it has come. Now, of course, I have the latest and greatest. And
what is that?
So this is the new Samsung Active right here.
Interesting. So I'm still a complete laggard. Look, I've got an actual watch for my watch. I mean, who knew?
I have
I guess
an Apple Watch.
The
but
time
I do
right
keep
now,
looking at these and thinking,
I mean, of course, this one electrifies me or electrocutes me if I don't get my steps in by 10 o'clock at night. So that's always motivation for that.
What does it give you? Heart rate?
It gives me heart rate. It gives me. Good question. I just got this watch just a few days ago. So, but the heart rate is a big thing. And
the Apple Watch also does the heart rate.
Yeah. I guess it tells me that I get a Facebook message, and I can make phone calls on it. But but I can sync it with my phone, of course, and it does all kinds of amazing stuff. So I can tell it but I have to tell it my blood pressure. You know, it's not giving me that stuff, right?
So, exactly. So it's that trying to make this as easy as possible for carers as well.
Yes.
You know, if you're long-term looking after somebody in a nursing home or something, this is the easiest way to do it, right? Non-contact.
I think this type of stuff is kind of a motivator. Right? I mean, if I'm at, 9,400 steps at 8 o'clock at night, it motivates me to get to my 10,000.
Entirely agree. There's definitely a place for this. Absolutely. And I think it's much more about educating the individual with these types of things. But I think in maybe a more hospital clinical setting, we've got a big population of people.
Well, I could see. I think
a combination of wearables.
I think that's the low-hanging fruit is hospitals for you. But I could see this. I mean, imagine this type of technology, you know, in public places too.
Air traffic control, monitoring people's concentration, fatigue, stress, babies in cribs. People at home being monitored. I mean, we showed yesterday, I showed in the talk all the different ways you could apply this in real-world settings, not just hospitals.
You know, you talk about airplanes, right? I mean, the last thing an airplane wants to do is have to have an emergency in the air and have to divert, right? If you could tell just in a contactless type of way if this person that's boarding an airplane is about to have a heart attack or what have you, right?
Yeah.
That would be significant.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did speak to people who are doing contactless monitoring of people walking through airports.
Really?
For various other things, maybe defense and security, that kind of thing. But you can imagine the holy grail of all of us just being able to get on and off planes without all of the security, you know, taking everything off, putting it into boxes, getting it through. If you could do all of that contactless monitoring, it'd be great, wouldn't it?
It would be great.
Yeah.
It'd be magical.
Who's sweating a little bit too much, looking a bit stressed, looking a bit worried.
Yep.
Pull them aside.
Well, you'd also pull a lot of the anxious people that are just anxious in social settings.
Exactly, yeah. But I imagine that you could probably correlate a few extra with enough data. You could correlate the, you know, dodgy people.
Yep. So we're getting that signal that it's time.
Right. Well,
we had
a pleasure.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you.
So how do we find out more about Cambridge?
Well, website, cambridgeconsultants.com. We do a ton of good stuff, and we've just updated our website, so it's got lots of cool stuff on it. So please do, people. Check in with us. Yeah, we do lots of cool stuff.
Thanks for joining us from Cambridge.
Thank
it was
you so
great.
much.
So
take care, guys.
Have a good rest of your show.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.